Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday morning, May 29, 2025. I must apologize for not getting a video out on Wednesday evening. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this morning. We can see that we have a ridge of high pressure right here to the north that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And not only the easterly trade wind, but we see tropical is moving along too, one right here across the northeastern sections of South America, another one right here to the south of Jamaica, well, to the southwest of Jamaica. And we know along with these easterly winds, we have a lot of Saharan dust coming off of the Sahara Desert, and we still see the numerous frontal systems and troughing taking place across the northern portion of North Atlantic all the way into portions of the US. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic as we're starting to get in back on the sunlight, you can see the sun definitely coming up across the eastern main development region, the eastern Caribbean as well. Nothing significant taking place right now across majority of the basin. Alright, so we'll be talking about the rest of the Caribbean to the later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in, well, Tuesday's video about what the weather would have been like on Wednesday. We stated that there would have been some morning rainfall across sections of some eastern parishes on Wednesday. Then we would have had some rainfall across sections of some northern and western parishes during Wednesday afternoon. And we know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes like Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And what ended up happening? As early as 7:45 a.m., the infrared close-up satellite image was posted, and it highlighted some cumulonimbus clouds in the blues, greens, yellows, oranges that represent the fact that we're getting in on some thunderstorm activity across sections of Portland. We see some of the activity right here to the east of St. Mary, so some of that might have pushed towards the west intersection of St. Mary, maybe coastal areas of St. Anne as well. So we definitely got that morning rainfall across the east, just as predicted. Then at around 3:35 p.m., the visible satellite images were posted, and they highlighted some thunderstorm activity that was being experienced across mainly central and western parishes. So it wasn't northern and western parishes like what was predicted. It was more so central and western parishes. So areas such as St. Catherine, section of northern Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland definitely got in on some thunderstorm activity, especially across section of St. Elizabeth for sure. And we definitely have some confirmation right here from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, showing where we indeed had that rainfall across the far eastern end, across the far northern end, and across section of some central and western parishes during the afternoon hours. And we have some comments right here confirming what the weather was like in some of our subscribers here. We have Randall Green saying, "Good morning, Weather Jamaica. We got some rain and some lightning and thunder. Brownstown, St. Anne this morning, but very cloudy skies in Browntown now. At that time, we have active 4081, sitting hazy sky here in South Clarendon with Jamaica. Thanks for confirming. Even on our Instagram page where the comments coming in. One here from Kel, 4011, stating Portmore crazy hot. I really hope we get some rain. Marlon _1 God stating Clarendon hot with Jamaica. We also had one comment right here from underscore ax underscore 3 times stating, "Be a ice a fall, brother. In St. Elizabeth, it's all a tear leaf off a tree, boy." It's understandable given the cloud that we saw over there. Look at the deep convection associated with the cloud. So yeah, man, the ice, the hail, are definitely understandable at that time. Next time, get us some clips that we can post on our social media platforms. We also have a comment right here, well, a few comments right here on our Facebook page. One here from I Zhu Jing stating, "So wicked, man, rain are regular vibes." We have Latoya Taylor stating, "Heater kill me." We also have Georgia Williamson stating, "Coming like a spell in Portmore." Boy, everybody feeling the heat these days for sure. And finally on our Twitter page, we had Fest Genius stating, "Just get the rain in Spanish Town." Alright, so let us reload the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website. Let's see what's happening right now. Alright, so the latest still image is showing 0955 UTC, which is actually 4:55 a.m. So this just came out 5, 10, 15, 16 minutes ago, considering that it's 5:11 a.m. right now. And what do we see? Some clouds bring some isolated thunder showers to sections of Portland and St. Mary on this early Thursday morning. Unfortunately, the Cuban Doppler radar can't confirm. It's still showing the time frame at around 12:20 a.m., which is actually 11:20 p.m. Jamaica time. At that time, we saw some isolated showers between Jamaica and Haiti. But what is making more sense is what we're seeing on the Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, U.S. Navy Doppler radar. Definitely showing that rainfall coming into sections of Portland as we speak. Light to moderate to heavy rainfall. We also see some of that across sections of Haiti as well. Some strong heavy rainfall. And we can see that even better on the latest infrared. Look at the thunderstorm activity currently being experienced across sections of Haiti. And we also see the clouds that are bringing the rainfall to sections of Portland and sections of northern Jamaica as we speak. Regarding the Cayman radar, not seeing much of anything across western Jamaica. I wouldn't be seeing anything this early morning, but we do see sections of Cuba in the clear. We do see some isolated shores though in and around the Cayman Islands. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, weekends above 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 18Z today, that's about 1 p.m. we see Jamaica embedded in grays and some slight yellows that represents average to at least 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the average temperature or the normal temperature for the month of May is around 89 degrees Fahrenheit. When that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that is around 31.6 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 31.6 to 32.6 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Thursday at 1 p.m. And we have a few maintenance outage advisors here from my JPS Online's Twitter page that we have to highlight. I know that we have to highlight these because that when we have power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So if you live or work in these areas, or if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, please let them know that a power outage is coming their way on Thursday, May 29, 2025. I'm referring to Pike to Troy in the parish of Manchester from 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. So your power outage is coming in the next hour. We also have Watermount to Point Hill in the parish of St. Catherine from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have Tivoli Gardens in St. Andrew from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. as well. And we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Be cool, stay indoors, and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest part of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water, and even if you're not thirsty, put away those sugar drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites. Within those rays, you can see an abundance of dry air right here across the eastern Atlantic. We can see an abundance of dry air right here near Atlantic Canada. We know the dry air is responsible for keeping the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain this time of year, making it harder for us to get storms this time of year. But what we like that we're seeing is the yellows that represents the low end of the scale in terms of dry air, and the blues that represent some moist air. So a lot of moist air across the Gulf, of the east coast of the US, across the intertropical convergence zone of the Atlantic, and to the south of Central America and Mexico. Lots of moist air there. So we know that rainfall is going to be easy to take place so that people can keep water in their pipes. But regarding the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, so it's what, May 28 right now? No, May 29 right now. Alright, so it's May 29 and we're looking at the Saharan dust forecast. So we clearly see that it's definitely going to be thinning out today for sure. We're on the northern edge of it today, and then definitely clearing out on Friday into Saturday for sure. And then clearly we can see that as we head back into the first quarter of June, look at the significant amount of Saharan dust that should be coming in. All of these pinks, purples, whatever color this is, going to be coming into the Eastern Caribbean by June 1. Definitely bringing more hazy skies, and all of this is going to be pushing towards the west, eventually affecting us over here in Jamaica. So get ready for that. Regarding the wave forecast for today across Jamaica, at around 1 p.m., clearly we see the light shades of blues to darker shades of blues represents anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave heights, while the highest wave heights should be right here to the far south of Jamaica, to the north of Colombia and Panama, anywhere from 2 to 3 meter wave heights expected. And that's because of the winds that are expected. More of an easterly flow across the entire Caribbean, more of a southeasterly flow across most of the Gulf. And the highest winds should be right here to the north of Colombia, to the northwest of Venezuela. And where we see the yellows that represents anywhere from 25, maybe close to 30 now winds. So it makes sense that the highest waves are going to be down there as well. Regarding Jamaica's wave forecast for today, we can clearly see up to 1.2 meter wave height on the north coast, down to 1.3 meter wave height on the south coast, and that's because of the winds that are expected. More of an easterly flow, as we can see here, averaging anywhere 14 knots on the north coast, 16 knots on the south coast, and the air should be piling up across some central and western parishes once again. So look out for that daytime heating of rainfall. Wherever we have the least amount of wind, that's where all of the clouds are going to be piling up. Then we have that daytime heating, that diurnal convection, bringing us some afternoon rainfall mainly across central and western parishes, and the upper level wind still coming in from the north today. So just like what we had yesterday, if we look back at some of the images when we saw the clouds being sheared out towards the south, that is something that's going to be taking place once again on a Thursday afternoon, bringing more overcast skies to sections of some southern parishes. And regarding the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 6 a.m. today. 6 a.m. Look at that. We're seeing the rainfall already affecting the northeast. We just saw it on the latest Guantanamo Bay Doppler radar, as well as the latest satellite imagery for sure. So this is already happening. Morning rainfall across the northeast. But look at the afternoon now. This is valid for about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time today. And we see that rainfall is expected across some central and western parishes. The GFS is more adamant that it's going to be more so northern and western parishes. We'll see it actually goes either way in terms of the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps. These maps from the Euro and the GFS are adamant that it's going to be raining in Jamaica as we head throughout the day today. The Euro going up to at least 0.21 of an inch of rainfall. GFS going up to 0.25 an inch of rainfall, especially in the northwest. We'll see it goes on. Whatever happens, we'll definitely take it, because we're in the month of May, and in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive close to 140 millimeters of rainfall this month. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive close to 6 inches of rainfall for this month. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of May or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com and that website to show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. You know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us, according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer models that came out today. As a matter of fact, Oh, even look at that. Is the NHC showing anything? Nothing being shown right here on the Atlantic side of things. Here we go. We have a brand new tropical depression in the Pacific right here. Tropical depression 1E, and we see that it's currently packing maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, moving towards the northwest at 8 knots or 9 miles per hour. So it's pushing towards that direction as we speak. Very interesting. Do we have the satellite imagery? Okay, there we go. So definitely lots of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms to the southwest of Mexico. I'm pretty sure that they're glad that they're getting in on not much of anything. Maybe some isolated showers across the northern edge of that system at least. But regarding the actual rainfall forecast maps now, so Friday morning, we see some isolated showers to our east. Friday afternoon, looks like some rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show for the same time period? Friday morning, it looks more so northeast. Let's see what the afternoon is showing, maybe northern and western parishes. Let's see what Saturday morning is showing. On Saturday morning, not really seeing much of anything. We see how the weather has definitely changed. Afternoon, eastern, central, and western parishes with that rainfall. What does the GFS show for Saturday morning? Rainfall to our south and east. Then for Saturday afternoon, looks like eastern, northern parishes getting on that rainfall. Sunday morning, what do we see? Rainfall to our west, rainfall to our south. Sunday afternoon, not really seeing much of anything for Sunday afternoon across the Euro. Let's see what the GFS is showing for Sunday morning. Not really much of anything. We see how the weather has definitely changed. Sunday afternoon, however, is showing rainfall across the far eastern end and the far western end. What does Monday morning show? On Monday morning, look at the abundance of moisture across the Bahamas, western Cuba, the western Caribbean, and the southwestern Caribbean. Maybe some isolated shores right here across eastern Jamaica, extending into the waters to the south of Haiti. Then on Monday afternoon, look at that rainfall across eastern, southern, and western parishes. Very interesting. What does the GFS show for Monday morning? Not seeing much of anything. Monday afternoon, however, we see some rainfall across the far eastern end and the far western end. Let's see what Tuesday morning is showing. Tuesday morning, look at the abundance of moisture right here to the northwest of Jamaica, into portions of Cuba, the Cayman Islands, the southwestern Caribbean. Then on Tuesday afternoon, looks like most of that rainfall should be to our southwest. What does the GFS show? Tuesday morning, nothing. Tuesday afternoon, not really much of anything. We do see some moisture, however, across section of Cuba, the Bahamas. We see some moisture across southwestern Caribbean, the far eastern end and the far western end of the island. What does Thursday morning show? Well, what does Wednesday morning show? Not really seeing anything. Wednesday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across central and western parishes. And we're stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Thursday, June 5, 2025. Not seeing much of anything. Maybe some rainfall across sections of Central America. With GFS. Wednesday morning, not really much of anything. Wednesday afternoon, we see rainfall across central and western parishes. We also see that rainfall across sections of Central America. Very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what unfolds though. But regarding the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here, from the Euro and the GFS, clearly we see that there's going to be a lot of rainfall. We see a lot of that across section of Northern South America, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, section of Guatemala, El Salvador getting in on some of that rainfall as well. And it's not only the Euro here that's showing this, but the GFS is showing something similar. And we can clearly see that there's going to be less rainfall wherever we have the greens, yellows, oranges, and reds that represents up to at least an inch of rainfall. For section of Florida, the Bahamas, Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Leeward and Windward Islands, section of the Eastern Yucatan, Belize, Guatemala getting on some of that as well. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS modes are in agreement with that forecast for sure. But regarding Jamaica's total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, the Euro is still adamant that the most rainfall over the next 7 days should be across the far eastern end, up to at least 66 millimeters of rainfall expected. GFS is a bit more reserved, only going up to at least 43 millimeters of rainfall. We also see some rainfall across the central and western ends of the island. We know that most of that is going to be during the afternoon hours. And whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted if what occurs. Taking a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic for this morning. What do we see? Sun definitely coming up. Reloading the images. Definitely seeing sunlight coming up across section of the Eastern Caribbean, Central Caribbean as well. We can see the thunderstorm still affecting portion of Haiti, the waters between Haiti and Jamaica. We see tropical wave definitely lashing portion of northeastern South America as we speak. But regarding the Doppler radar imagery, over there around Puerto Rico, we're seeing some morning rainfall as we speak across section of eastern Puerto Rico, in and around Antigua and Barbuda. Regarding the Barbados radar, not seeing much of anything across Barbados right now, but we do see some isolated shores passing to the north and south of there, pushing towards the west into portion of Martinique, St. Lucia, Grenada, the Grenadines, section of Tobago as well, getting in on some of that action. On the weather view Doppler radar imagery, we can see some rainfall as we speak right here across section of Guyana and Suriname associated with that tropical wave. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next, let's say, 12 to 18 hours, clearly the most rainfall should be across northern South America into Central America, sections of the Greater Antilles with some isolated shores in the greens and the yellows for sure, leaking into portions of the Eastern Caribbean. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in agreement with that forecast. And that when they're in agreement like this, the chances are higher for it to actually take place. Alright, so that's it for this evening. Well, that's it for this morning about today. Thank you all for